All right, so we're diving into lifeguard interview prep today. Um, and it's a pretty big deal, right? I mean, you're responsible for people's safety in the water.
Absolutely. It's a huge responsibility. You really got to know your stuff.
And show them you've got what it takes, which is where RoleCatcher comes in.
Yeah, they've got this awesome guide. Plus, they give us some killer interview questions to practice with.
Perfect. So, let's use this deep dive to get into their heads, figure out what they're really looking for.
Exactly. So we can help people nail those interviews.
Sounds good. So, first things first, what is a lifeguard really all about?
Well, RoleCatcher highlights that it's a blend of vigilance, obviously got to be watching the water like a hawk.
Right. But then there's also quick thinking, got to be ready for anything.
Exactly. And you got to have great people skills, too.
Yeah.
You're interacting with everyone from little kids to, adults.
Makes sense. It's like you're not just a strong swimmer,
You're preventing problems before they even happen.
Oh, I like that.
Like you're the guardian of good times at the pool or the beach.
Okay, so let's get into these interview questions. RoleCatcher gives us a whole bunch.
Yeah, 10 of them. We might not get to all of them today, but let's hit the highlights.
All right, let's do it. So question one, the classic. What inspired you to become a lifeguard?
Seems simple, but there's a lot you can do with it.
It's more than just like, I love swimming.
Right. It's about why it matters to you, digging deep.
Like maybe there's a personal story.
Exactly. Or maybe you were inspired by another lifeguard.
Yeah. Or like a sense of duty to help others.
That's a good one. Show them that passion.
Passion. Okay, so they see you're not just in it for a summer job.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, question 2. How do you ensure the safety of the swimmers under your watch?
This one's getting into the nitty-gritty.
Absolutely.
I feel like this is where you show you're proactive, not just reactive.
Exactly. Like, don't just list off the rules.
Yeah, like I'd say something about how I'm constantly scanning the pool, making sure I can see everyone.
That's good. Show them you're not just sitting there.
And like enforcing the rules strictly, but also keeping an eye out for potential hazards.
Yeah, like maybe a kid running by the pool or something slippery on the deck.
Right, things that others might miss.
Exactly. Got to be on top of it.
Now, RoleCatcher mentioned something really interesting. How technology is changing the lifeguarding game.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Like, how would you use tech to boost safety?
Well, I'd probably talk about underwater cameras.
Oh, yeah, those can be helpful, especially in like crowded areas.
Exactly. Or if the water's murky.
Right. And what about like wearable devices for swimmers?
Oh, yeah. Like those things that can track their vitals.
Right. And alert the lifeguard if something's wrong.
That's some next level stuff.
It shows you're thinking ahead.
Right. That you're adaptable, which any employer loves.
Okay, speaking of adaptability, next question focuses on handling those tough situations.
Oh, boy. Yeah, every lifeguard's going to face those.
The question is, how do you handle challenging patrons or difficult situations in the pool area?
So basically, how do you deal with rule breakers?
Right, because there are always going to be some.
Always. So imagine this. Teenagers ignoring the no diving sign. What's your approach?
Well, I'd start by calmly explaining the rule
Yeah, I gotta stay cool.
and why it's there,
Yeah.
emphasize the dangers.
Good. Don't just yell at them.
Right, then if they keep ignoring it,
Yeah, then what? Gotta get a little firmer.
I'd reiterate the consequences. Maybe even involve a supervisor if needed.
Perfect. You're showing that you can handle things, but also escalate when necessary.
All right, so we've covered being proactive, handling rule breakers.
What else? Oh, yeah, staying up to date.
RoleCatcher stresses that too. They even have a whole question about it.
Question 4. How do you stay current with the latest safety standards and regulations in lifeguarding?
So it's not just about having your certification.
Right. It's about showing them you're truly dedicated.
Like you're going above and beyond.
Exactly. So what kind of things show that dedication?
Well, attending conferences maybe.
That's a good one.
Shows you're serious.
Or subscribing to industry publications. Absolutely. Shows you're keeping up with the latest trends.
Oh, and following relevant organizations online.
All great ways to stay ahead of the curve.
And you could even mention specific resources.
Like the American Red Cross or the YMCA.
Right, or specific training programs you've taken.
Shows them you're proactive about learning.
Okay. Now, question 5 gets personal.
This one's all about you.
The question is, what do you consider the most important skill for a lifeguard to possess, and why?
And RoleCatcher lists a bunch. Vigilance, quick thinking, physical fitness, communication.
Right. But which one really speaks to you?
And why? This is where your personality shines through.
Like maybe you're all about staying calm under pressure.
That's a good one, especially in emergencies.
Or maybe you have amazing observation skills. You notice everything.
That's super important too. Gotta have eyes everywhere.
For me, I think it would be communication.
Oh, interesting. Why?
Because being able to communicate clearly with swimmers, with other lifeguards, with supervisors, it's key for a safe and organized environment.
I see your point. You're thinking big picture.
Right. It's about making sure everyone's on the same page.
And remember, RoleCatcher talks about those different career stages for lifeguards.
Oh, yeah. Like, are you a junior guard or are you aiming for a leadership role?
Right. Think about where you fit in.
Because a junior lifeguard might focus on their eagerness to learn.
Yeah, wanting to soak up all the knowledge.
But someone who wants to lead might highlight their experience.
And their training and their ability to take charge.
Exactly.
All right, next question gets into the action, the rescues.
Okay, so question 6. What is your experience with conducting water rescues?
Now, even if it's mostly been practice drills,
Yeah, you can still learn a lot from those.
think about what you learned that sets you apart.
Like, did you have to adapt your techniques based on the scenario?
Good point. Every rescue's different.
Or did you discover the importance of teamwork?
Oh, yeah. Rescues are rarely a one-person job.
Or maybe communication during a rescue was crucial.
These insights are gold.
They show you've really thought about it.
Now, let's not forget the practical side. Question 7. How do you maintain physical fitness and endurance to perform the duties of a lifeguard?
Right. Got to be in shape for this job.
They want to know you can handle those long hours on your feet.
And those potential rescues.
So share your routine. What do you do to stay fit?
Well, I definitely swim regularly. That's a given.
Of course.
But I also do strength training and cardio.
Good. Show them you're well-rounded.
Got to have the stamina to be alert and ready for anything.
Now, what about first aid?
Oh, yeah, that's essential. Question 8. What is your experience in providing first aid and administering CPR?
Everyone's got their certifications, but what sets you apart?
Well, I'd talk about my confidence in my skills.
Yeah, that you're ready to handle those high-pressure situations.
And that I actively keep my knowledge up to date.
Exactly. Like taking refresher courses.
And then maybe mention any real-world situations where I've used my skills.
Perfect. Even if it wasn't a major emergency, it shows you're comfortable putting your training into action.
Okay, so now let's talk about something that's not as glamorous.
But just as important.
Question 9. How do you ensure the cleanliness and sanitation of the swimming pool?
Now, this one might seem basic,
Right, like anyone can clean.
but they want to see that you understand the importance of it.
That you take it seriously.
So highlight your knowledge of pool maintenance procedures.
Like checking chlorine levels.
Yep. Got to keep those balanced.
And pH levels.
Important for swimmer comfort and safety.
And of course, regular cleaning. Skimming to remove debris.
Exactly. Got to keep that water sparkling.
Because ultimately, it's about creating a safe and healthy environment.
Right. Cleanliness is part of safety.
Okay. Last question for this part, I think.
This one's interesting. It really tests your broader emergency preparedness.
The question is, how do you handle emergencies outside of the swimming pool, such as a patron experiencing a medical emergency on the premises?
So it's not just about what happens in the water.
Right. Like what if someone faints from the heat?
Exactly, or has a heart attack on the deck.
Are you ready to handle that?
That's what they want to know.
I'd explain that while my main focus is water safety, I'm also trained to respond to those other emergencies.
Good. Gotta emphasize that training.
Yeah. So I'd assess the situation, ensure my own safety first,
Always gotta look out for yourself, too.
then contact emergency services immediately.
And while you're waiting for them to arrive.
I'd provide appropriate aid based on my first aid and CPR training.
Perfect. You're showing them you're a well-rounded first responder, not just a lifeguard.
Exactly. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have 10 tough questions, but we've given some solid answers.
Now in part 2, we'll dive into how RoleCatcher's AI can help you personalize your responses and really make them stand out.
Can't wait to get into that town. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're diving deeper into acing that lifeguard interview.
And last time we got into some seriously tough questions.
We did.
So now I'm excited to hear more about how RoleCatcher's AI can, actually help.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets really interesting.
Because we talked about the CV resume builder.
Right.
So can we break that down a bit more? Like, how does AI actually transform my, application?
Okay, so imagine this. You've got this AI-powered editor that's
Oh,
it's reading the minds of hiring managers.
Whoa.
I know, right? So you upload your CV,
Uh-huh.
and the AI goes to work. It analyzes it.
Okay.
But it's not just checking for typos or formatting.
So it's deeper than that.
Way deeper. It actually compares your CV to the specific job description you're targeting.
Oh, wow. So it's like it's tailoring it for each job.
Exactly. It's all about making sure your qualifications are speaking their language.
I get it. So it's not just about looking good. It's about making sure the content is actually relevant.
Exactly. It's about precision targeting.
And how does it do that?
Okay, so the AI identifies those keywords and skills that the employer is really looking for. And then it helps you weave those into your CV.
Oh, sneaky.
Right. But it's all about highlighting the experiences that matter most to them.
Okay, that's pretty amazing.
Right.
But what about those, like, application questions?
Oh, yeah, those can be brutal. Sometimes they feel like mini essays.
They do.
But don't worry, RoleCatcher's got you covered.
They do.
They have this Optimize with AI applications feature,
Okay.
and it analyzes those questions and figures out what they're really asking.
So it's like reading between the lines.
Exactly, and then it gives you suggestions for crafting really strong answers.
So it's helping me write the answers.
Not exactly. It's more like giving you a brainstorming partner.
Okay.
It's helping you articulate your skills and experience in a way that grabs their attention.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's not just giving me canned responses,
No way. It's about using your unique experiences.
but making them shine.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've got the CV and the application questions covered.
What's next? Oh, yeah, the actual interview.
Dun, dun, dun.
The part that makes everyone nervous.
Oh, yeah. I get super nervous just thinking about it.
Me too. But RoleCatcher has this feature, Prepare with AI Interview Practice.
Okay.
And it's a game changer. It's like having a mock interview with personalized feedback.
Well, wait. How does that even work?
You record yourself answering common interview questions.
Okay.
And then the AI analyzes your delivery, your tone, the content of your answers.
Just judging me?
Not judging, helping. Think of it as a virtual coach.
Wait, hold on. It analyzes the video.
It does.
That's wild. So it can see, like, my body language.
Exactly. It can pick up on those subtle cues that you might not even be aware of.
Like what?
Like if you're, fidgeting or using too much jargon.
Or if I keep saying,
That too. And then it gives you suggestions for improvement.
So it's helping me become a better interviewer.
Exactly. It's about refining your presentation, making sure you're projecting confidence and clarity.
So it's not just about what I'm saying, it's about how I'm saying it.
You got it.
Okay, that's super helpful.
Right.
But what if I get, like, totally stuck on a question?
Oh, then you need the Enhance with AI interview questions feature.
Another one.
RoleCatcher has a lot of cool tools.
Okay.
So with this one, you type in the question that's stumping you, and the AI gives you personalized guidance on how to approach it.
So it's like having an interview expert in my pocket.
Exactly. It helps you figure out the key points to emphasize, even suggests potential follow-up questions.
Wow. So basically, RoleCatcher is like my secret weapon for this whole interview process.
Pretty much. It's about giving you the tools and knowledge to really shine.
Okay, but how does all of this AI stuff connect back to actually being a successful lifeguard?
That's a good question.
Like, it's all cool tech, but
But will it actually help you on the job?
yeah.
I think it will. Because think about the qualities that make a great lifeguard.
Okay.
Preparedness,
Uh-huh.
adaptability,
Oh.
a commitment to continuous improvement.
Right.
And that's what these AI tools are all about.
I see your point.
They're showing the employer that you're proactive, that you're tech savvy.
And that you're willing to learn and grow.
Exactly. Which are all super valuable skills in any job, really.
Okay, so we've covered a lot about how AI can help with the actual application and interview.
We have. But remember that other piece of advice from RoleCatcher?
Oh, yeah. Networking.
It's something a lot of people forget about, but it can make a huge difference.
I know. I always feel awkward about networking.
It can feel weird, but think of it this way. You're connecting with people who are already doing what you want to do.
Okay.
So you can learn from them.
Get insider tips.
Exactly. And who knows, they might even know about job openings that haven't been posted yet.
Oh, that's a good point. Networking for the win.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm convinced.
Yeah.
But how do you even network as a lifeguard? Like, do they have conferences?
Maybe, but even if they don't, you can get creative.
Like what?
You could reach out to lifeguards at your local pool
Okay.
or join online forums, Facebook groups, whatever.
Like start connecting with people.
Exactly. Or attend events hosted by, like, the American Red Cross.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Networking is all about building relationships
And learning from others.
and potentially opening doors that you didn't even know existed.
Okay, I'm sold on networking. Now are you ready to get back to those practice questions?
Bring them on. I'm ready to test out all this AI-powered knowledge.
Let's do it. Okay, so we're back. Ready to wrap up this deep dive into lifeguard interview prep.
Part 3, the grand finale.
Exactly. And we've covered a lot of ground. Key questions, how to showcase your skills, even how RoleCatcher's AI can give you that extra edge.
It's been quite a journey.
But now I'm thinking, like, okay, I've got the knowledge, I've done my prep, but what about those little things?
The subtle nuances that can make or break an interview.
Exactly.
One thing that often trips people up is behavioral questions.
Oh, yeah. Those are the ones that start with, like, tell me about a time when.
You got it.
And those always throw me off a bit because they're not asking for, like, a straightforward answer.
Right. They want to know how you handled a specific situation.
See, that's the part that makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Like, how do I even structure my answer?
Well, luckily there's a method for that.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
It's called the STAR method.
Okay, STAR method.
And it's a simple framework for, organizing your thoughts.
Okay, break it down for me.
So S stands for situation.
Okay, setting the scene.
Exactly. You briefly describe the situation you were in.
Got it.
Then T for task.
So, like, what was my specific role in that situation?
Exactly.
Right.
Then A for action. What actions did you take to address the situation?
Action, okay.
And finally, R for result. What was the outcome of your actions?
Ah. Okay, so it's basically like telling a story
It is.
with a beginning, middle, and end.
Exactly.
I like it. Keeps things clear and concise.
And it helps you focus on those key details that really showcase your abilities.
Okay, so let's say they ask, tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult customer.
A classic.
How would I use the STAR method for that?
Well, think about a time you had to maybe enforce a safety rule with a swimmer who wasn't cooperating.
Okay, yeah, I've definitely had those moments.
So you'd start by describing the situation briefly.
Like, there was a swimmer who was repeatedly diving in a shallow area.
Perfect. Then the task.
My task was to ensure the safety of all swimmers, so I had to intervene.
Good.
So I approached the swimmer calmly, explained the rule and the dangers of diving in that area.
There's your action.
And as a result, the swimmer understood the risks and stopped diving.
Boom. You nailed it.
See, the STAR method really helps. It's like a roadmap.
It is. It keeps you on track and makes sure you're highlighting those key points.
Now, what about those other, texts for making a good impression?
One thing that often gets overlooked is enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah. You got to show them you actually want the job.
Exactly. Lifeguarding is a job where passion really matters.
Because it's not just about, like, sitting there.
Right. You got to be engaged. You got to be alert.
And you got to genuinely care about keeping people safe.
Exactly. So let that shine through. Smile, make eye contact, show them you're excited to be there.
Okay, I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
Knowledge, preparation, and a whole lot of enthusiasm.
You got it.
Now, any final words of wisdom before we send our listeners off to conquer those interviews?
Remember, you've got this. You've put in the work, you have the skills, and you're clearly passionate about lifeguarding.
It's all about believing in yourself.
Exactly.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher is there to help you every step of the way.
From fine-tuning your CV to practicing your answers, they've got your back.
It's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket.
Exactly. So go out there, make a splash, and rock that interview.
And for all you aspiring lifeguards out there,
Remember, it's not just about getting the job.
it's about joining a community of people who are dedicated to keeping others safe.
So connect with other lifeguards, share your experiences, support each other,
And most importantly,
have fun out there.
exactly, because lifeguarding is an amazing and rewarding experience.
It is.
So go out there and make the most of it.